gentlemen, and welcome back to Tech Showdown. My name is Kevin, this is Teddy, and today we're going to be talking about the SteelSeries Apex M800 RGB Mechanical Gaming Keyboard. Now before we jump into this, I want to ask you guys a question, because I just want to know what my viewers like to use. So what is your favorite mechanical key switch? I'm guessing the majority of you will probably be using Cherry MX key switches, so which one of them do you like? Or if you're not using Cherry MX, yeah, what key switch are you using? Which one do you like the best? For me personally, it's the Cherry MX Blue, followed very closely by the Cherry MX Brown. Those are my two favorites. Anyways, let's get into this guy then. So as you can tell straight away, this has a very low profile, slim design, very slim down keycaps. The overall keyboard itself may be long, but it is, oh sorry Teddy, it is quite slim. So that's quite cool in its own way. It has a more unique approach rather than the big thick keyboards we've been getting a lot lately. Now it's got a good standing height. It is quite slim, but it's got a good height and nice angle to it, so it is pretty comfortable to use for the most part. However, it does not come with a wrist rest, so that is a bit of a downside. Although there is a bit of a gap here, as you can see at the bottom, to let you rest your wrist there. Yeah, construction wise, it's pretty plastic fantastic, as you can see. Just plastic, full plastic construction. I mean, it feels well built still. It's not like it feels fragile or anything like that. But considering this price point it comes in at, it's a little bit disappointing there. I would have liked to have seen other materials used, more quality materials. It is comfortable to use though. I will definitely give it that much. The slim down keys and everything, it's very nice. My wrist didn't get sore. As I've told you guys many times, my wrists are really bad, so I pick up on that very quickly. And it was generally very comfortable to use for the most part, so I thought it was quite good comfort wise. Now it does also come with a braided cable, as you can see, and it has twin USB 2.0 ports at the back there, which is good. You can use them for whatever I guess you want. Personally, I don't really use them that much, but for some people that might be a good thing to have. Now let's jump into the main event with this guy. No mucking around. The new key switch. So it's their SteelSeries QS1 switch. QS1 kind of sounds like an engine code. Oh, whatever. So this is it's similar, most similar I'd say, to a Cherry MX Red switch. So if you've used one of them, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So it's a linear switch, and it has the same 45 cn actuation force as a Cherry MX Red switch. And for those of you who don't know, a Cherry MX Red is a non-clicky switch. So as you can see, there's no clickiness to be found here. It does have 25% shorter actuation over the Cherry MX Red. So that means the actual switch itself goes down 25% less, so it actuates faster, and the key switch itself is shorter. That, in conjunction with its low profile keycaps, it takes a little while to get used to. But how does that feel? Well, I mean, it's okay. It's quick, but it lacks feel. And that's what I have that kind of issue with Cherry MX Reds to begin with. Although even directly compared to Reds, it just doesn't feel quite as nice. It's very hard to explain to you guys, but that's the best way I can put it. But it isn't that bad. Honestly, it's just not as good as the Cherry MX Red switch in terms of feel. However, what it does do good is it has full key rollover, which means I didn't get any key ghosting at all. Which you might think, well, that's something you take for granted, but you'd be surprised. Some of the things I've tested out, oh boy, the key registering sometimes is not the greatest. Now, due to the unique switch, that QS1 switch, it means that these keycaps are not interchangeable. So that will kind of screw some people out there that might want to switch them around. And of course, the keycap design themselves is very different for ones that you'd find on a Cherry MX keyboard. As I said, they're very much slimmed down. The spacebar is quite cool. As you can see, it kind of stands out a lot. It's very fat, but it is still quite narrow. Honestly, I actually quite liked it. You might think, well, that's weird, that'll take ages to get used to. It doesn't. It's just something that's there. I didn't mind it. It's fine, you know. It's something different, I guess. Overall, the layout is pretty good. As you can see, we have macro keys down the right-hand side here. Some of the SteelSeries function keys up across the top here are okay. As I say in a lot of my laptop reviews, I rather than put function key switches down on these arrow keys. I just find it a little bit easier to use. I mean, you can just use one hand then. Well, I suppose you can with the top ones as well. I don't know, it's just a preference of mine, but it's good at least they put them on there anyways. And overall, the layout is pretty solid with this M800. And I do like it that they've attempted to make their own switch. Oh, by the way, the lifespan of these switches is 60 million clicks, so that's pretty good too. It's a little bit more than the Cherry MX, which is 50 million, I believe. Now, lighting. So the RGB LEDs in these are in the center of the switch. So if you guys know what I'm talking about, the ones you usually find on Cherry MX keys are kind of on the top. What this means in basic terms is that you don't get much light bleed from these key switches, well, this keyboard, compared to Cherry MX ones. Light bleed is when you can see the kind of lights around the keys instead of it just more or less coming straight through the keycap, if you kind of follow what I'm trying to say. So that does that very good. There's very, very little key bleed, which is a great thing about having those center LEDs. Now the colors, as you can see, look really good. I honestly think the color reproduction is very good. Although the brightness, it could go a little bit brighter, honestly. But with that being said, it still does a decent job in terms of brightness. And it has the nice lighting down the sides too, which is something a little bit different. And the the SteelSeries logo up the top here also lights up. So lighting wise, it does a fairly solid job. Now to the features, and SteelSeries Engine 3 is the software it uses, and it is absolutely fantastic. I really, really liked it. So setting key bindings is an absolute breeze. For some reason my SteelSeries Engine comes up in like Chinese for some reason. I don't know why. Well, some of it does. I don't get it. Anyways, but key bindings are still a breeze. Setting up the lighting is super, super easy. There's heaps of preset ones that you can pick from. Just in general, it's very straightforward. It's very easy. It's just an absolutely excellent software. Corsair really, really needs to take a good hard look at what SteelSeries has done and copy it, because it's really, really good. And it's better than the Razer software, which I thought was also very, very good when it came to RGB keyboards as well. But this one is absolutely fantastic. So, in conclusion then, what do I think of it? So the low profile design is definitely going to appeal to some people out there, and it is very comfortable to use. The switches are they're basically a short, low profile red switch. It's not really my cup of tea, just because I don't really get much feel out of them. I'd still prefer just a Cherry MX red switch. But some people might like them. As always, it's personal preference. All you guys like different kind of switches. So if you can, go into your local tech store, computer store, and see if they got one of these guys laid out for you to test. And then maybe if you're lucky, they'll have maybe a Cherry MX keyboard there laid out as well, so you can try both of them back to back and see which one you like better. Lighting wise, very solid. No light bleed. Just, yeah, very, very good in terms of the lighting department. The brightness could be slightly improved, but it's still a pretty decent effort. Software is fantastic. There's just nothing else to say. It's just very, very good. Maybe it's not as advanced as some people might like, as in the Corsair, but I think for 90% of people, they'll just like it because it's so straightforward and easy to use. But the main con with this, and why I don't recommend it is hideously expensive. My God, for something this expensive, I would expect a bit more than just an overall solid keyboard. I would expect it to be much, much better, considering that in New Zealand you can buy a Ducky Shine 4 for I think about $130 less than this. So honestly, with all that being done, Cherry MX Red Switch is still better. So if you're wanting a nice looking keyboard, I just say go get yourself a Cherry MX Red. Ducky Shine 4. It's going to be much cheaper, just as good quality. It's not RGB lighting in the Ducky Shine 4, but it'll be good enough for the majority of you out there to get you by. And the Shine 4 is much, much cheaper, so that would be my recommend. But if you really want this guy, then yeah, go for it. It is still a solid keyboard. Switches are a bit but, you know, overall it is still solid. It's just way too expensive, at least for right now. Now let's get to round out this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please subscribe to Tech Showdown if you haven't already. And as always, I'll see you guys next time.